Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for Tuesday, September 26th, 2017. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Right now, you see that the previous session we had quite a pullback here, an outside day a bit, where price hit the FOMC key level at 2504, dropped sharply into lows, got as low as 2485 near that LVN there, 2480. And then eventually closed higher on the day. Right now, a little bit of an inside day here as we head into the day with a 5.5 point overnight range, very, very narrow. Still holding. I mentioned before that even if price pulls back into 2480, it could still be a buying opportunity for another round of strength. Bulls came in at 2485. Still, we're not seeing big time signs of strength just yet. But again, this shows the strength of the overall market. Every time it pulls back, you're going to see some buyers come in. Even if it doesn't lead to a big push to new highs, you can see bulls still coming in to step in and defend. Overall, 2480 is a big time level. If there is a violation of that level, we could drop a little bit lower, perhaps 2459. That could still be a buying opportunity overall. So we're going to continue to watch this. As of right now, we're kind of inside the range, a very, very narrow range. We do have Fed Chair Janet Yellen speaking later on this morning. So the market may be in a holding pattern ahead of that event. And right now, a 5.5 point overnight range, very, very narrow indeed for the ES. So we could be looking at further sideways action. But again, the market remains bullish overall, but we could see more of a pullback ahead of that next push up. Let's take a look here at crude oil. Crude oil had a big day the previous session. We knew it right away, obviously. We had a big runaway push right at the open in overnight trading and pre-market. And the idea was that we would likely remain in a price discovery phase and to look to defend pullbacks along the way. Crude oil rallied significantly, pushed through 52s and closed beyond 52s for the first time in a long while. Last time we did that was back here in April. So this is a big time push. One thing we talked about in the trading room is after a big day like this, after a big day, watch the high there. If the high is rejected, we could see a day trade back to the midpoint of the previous session. Right now we're seeing a little bit of a rejection, the midpoint 51.34, so we could be looking at a quiet return back to 51.34, which could be about another 50 ticks down. That's not a bad deal. Any pullback likely to be defended for an overall continuation, perhaps into the next key level above, which I mentioned yesterday is 52.95. Let's take a look here at gold futures. Gold futures, the previous session here had a failed new low, and this is something that we mentioned in the trading room here. Is eventually this new low here was rejected, and price started to push back to 1302, and then through it, which was this high right here. 1301.90 was the previous high, and once that started to occur, we knew that price was likely headed back to 1317 for a retest. That is the FOMC key level from September 20th. It went offered after its creation, and then after that, we saw rejection here, which implies a return back to it. Right on the button, it was rejected yet again. So this could lead to another round of weakness here. And again, this 1317 is a very important level. If price remains above 1302, that's the key level we were looking for, there could be a continuation higher overall. So 1302 is still the key level to watch for bulls. Above that could run stops through 1317 and get you back to 1330. So right now, a couple of key levels to watch, 1302 and above 1317 squeezes. Let's take a look lastly at the NQ here. The NQ had the biggest day of all, obviously tech with a major sell-off to the downside while crude and gold were rallying. This one here sold off after failing to push beyond the previous high here and took off to the downside. And one thing here is now we have perhaps an extreme reversal type of pattern that could develop here, wherein we could see a bounce back up toward 59.74.75 over the course of the week if bulls can come in and remain, continue to defend the zone. So this is an area here where after this pullback, we may see a bounce back up, and 59.42 could be the target. One update here I wanted to show. If you go to pivotboss.com and click on news here, I'm going to be hosting a couple of webinars in the next few days. The next one will be tomorrow. So if you click on upcoming webinars here, you'll see Wednesday, September 27th at 6 p.m. I'm going to be hosting a webinar entitled The Power of Pivot-Based Analysis. So this is kind of piggybacking off the book Secrets of a Pivot Boss. For those of you that are not familiar with pivots or not familiar with my book Secrets of a Pivot Boss, or are novice traders, this is a perfect webinar for you to jump in and understand some of the value that pivot-based analysis provides you. So I'm going to be providing a powerful webinar on that at 6 p.m. Central tomorrow, September 27th, 2017. And on Monday, October 2nd at 3:30 p.m. Central, we're going to be hosting our monthly market outlook. So this is the outlook that I provide every single month on the first trading day of the month. And we're looking for longer-term analysis, looking at lots of different futures contracts and even prospecting swing trading opportunities as well for the month of October. So a couple of webinars here for you to jump into over the next week, starting with tomorrow, and I hope that you join me. All right, everyone, let's see how this plays out the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you soon. Take care.